BFG stopped and put his other ear, the one Sophie wasn't sitting in, close to the first window. No, he whispered. What are you listening for? Sophie whispered back. For breathing, the BFG whispered. I is able to tell if it is a man, human being, or a lady by the breathing voice. We has a human, we has a man in there, snarling a little bit too. He glided on, flattening his tall, thin, black-clogged body against the side of the building. He came to the next window. He listened. No, he whispered. He moved on. This room is empty, he whispered. He listened in at several more windows, but at each one he shook his head and moved on. When he came to the window in the very centre of the palace, he listened, but did not move on. Ho, ho, he whispered. We has a lady sleeping in there. Sophie felt a little quiver go running down her spine. But who? She whispered back. The BFG put a finger to his lips. For silence, he reached he reached up through the open window and parted the curtains ever so slightly. The orange glow from the night sky over London crept into the room and cast a glimmer of light onto its walls. It was a large room, a lovely room, a rich carpet, gilded chairs, a dressing table, a bed, and on a pillow of the bed lay the head of a sleeping woman. Sophie suddenly found herself looking at a face she had seen on stamps and coins and in the newspapers all her life. For a few seconds she was speechless. Is that here? Is that her? The BFG whispered. Yes, Sophie whispered back. The BFG wasted no time. First and very carefully, he started to raise the lower half of the large window. The the BFG was an expert on windows. He had opened thousands of them over the years to blow his dreams into children's bedroom. Some windows got stuck, some were wobbly, some cracked. He was pleased to find that the Queen's windows slide upward like silk. He pushed up the lower half as far as it would go so as to leave a palace on the sill for Sophie to sit. Next, he closed the crack in the curtains. Then with finger and thumb, he lifted Sophie out of his ear and placed her on the window ledge with her legs dangling just inside the room, but behind the curtains. Now don't you go toppling backwards, the BFG whispered. You must always be holding on tight with both hands to the inside of the windowsill. Sophie did as he said. It was summertime in London and the night was not cold, but don't forget that Sophie was wearing only him-thin nightie. She would have given anything for a dressing gown, not just to keep her warm, but to hide the white whiteness Aphrodite from watchful eyes in the garden below.